We are now joined on Speak by Super Bowl winning head coach Andy Reid. Now, Coach, I got to start you off with the hardest hitting question you're going to get all week. Is LeSean McCoy the best running back you've ever coached?
I'll tell you what, he's a future Hall of Famer. I got to give him that. It might be on radio, but on the field, he was tremendous too.
I love this guy right here. He changed my life forever.
Coach, a serious question, because he's playing around, but a serious question. When you left in 2013, myself, Jason Kelsey, Fletcher Cox, we all were sad, right? And then when you came back to play at Philadelphia, the emotions were so crazy. You know, some was sad, some was we missed you. How's your emotions now playing your old team, Philadelphia Eagles?
Yeah, listen, I mean, it's different. It was really different when I first heard that's who we were going to play. But you know, once it's all said and done, now you're trying to get ready to play a great football team. And that's where I'm at. So it's going to be man on man as we get into this thing, and whoever's the best team is going to come out on top. And so trying to prepare our guys to make sure we can function at a high level.
Coach, you have had an incredible, and I mean incredible, career. Your first stint, as Shady talked about, with the Eagles, but right here and now it's all about the Chiefs. What was the moment this season, Coach, that you knew you could get back to the Super Bowl? You had high highs, some questionable lows, but what was that moment that you knew, you know what, this team's capable of going back?
Yeah, well, listen, I've got Pat Mahomes. I mean, that helps. And so we lost Tyreek Hill. I know people thought that was the end of it. And I'm so happy for him for having a good year, and he made a lot of money, man. I mean, he's set for life there. The positive is that Brett Veach, who actually was a big McCoy fan, man. I mean, he loved LeSean and was a big reason that LeSean was drafted by the Philadelphia Eagles. So anyways, Brett is our general manager, and he did a great job of going out and getting new players to step into the wide receiver spot with McCole Hardman. But the bottom line was we had Pat Mahomes, and so who makes everybody around him better. And these guys stepped up to the plate. He and Kelsey made everybody feel at home, stepping in, and I'm proud. As much as I'm proud of the guys all playing well, that part of it as a head coach really was gratifying. That they invited these guys in, they checked all egos at the door, and they became a team. And that's what makes this group unique.
Coach, you have an incredible coaching tree. Obviously, your former players love you, and you're known as being a teacher. How important is you showing up as your authentic self and being authentic important as a head coach? Because you're dealing with different generations, people from different places, and you've been able to relate to people on a real emotional and personal level throughout your career.
Yeah, Joy, I mean, I'm not getting any younger. And so I've lost that relationship that, hey, he's a young head coach. That's over. So now I'm like the grandfather. I'm in there, and I enjoy being around these guys. I think really what they want is just you to be honest with them and shoot them straight, let them know where they're at. And so we try to do that. I try to do that as the head coach. And I've seen enough now to where if I can give guidance to them, I try to do that the best I can. And I love being around the guys. I mean, I love the youth that keeps me young. And so even though I look old, I feel like I'm 20. Well, maybe not 20, but somewhere in there.
Coach, you look great. You look great. Okay, you talked about guidance. The score was 10-7. It was the divisional round. Patrick Mahomes, your special quarterback, had just gotten hurt against the Jacksonville Jags. He was urging you to let him go back in the game. Most coaches would have looked at the moment and said, I don't care about your health. Just go back in the game. But you said, I'm not letting you go back in until you get x-rayed. Talk me through that moment and why you cared more about his health in that moment than the game itself.
Well, listen, I mean, the game's important. I understand that. You don't want to put somebody out there that is hurt that can't protect himself. It's a violent game. I mean, we can say whatever we want to say, but there's some big guys chasing you, man, that can run fast and hit hard. And so if you can't get out of the way of that, then you're really subjecting yourself to harm. And so, I can't do that to really any player. And Pat, in this case that we're talking about, he wanted to fight me over it, but you love that part as a coach. You love that part too. So that he wanted to go back in, but I just want to make sure the thing wasn't broken. And I was standing right there where he got hit, and it was kind of a nasty looking injury. So he ended up running up there. Believe it, he ran up there to get it X-rayed, which I had a hard time believing. I didn't see that till later, but he ran up, got the X-ray, and then came back down and was able to jump back in there.
Coach, I'm going to step out on a small limb and assume that the thrill of playing in a Super Bowl never gets old. But I'm curious for your perspective, having coached in quite a few of these at this point. The spectacle, the demand on your attention, the stuff that goes into it that's different than every other game. What have you learned about Super Bowl week, maybe that you didn't know as a younger coach, or pitfalls that you got to avoid? Just what is this experience of going to this game as often as you have taught you over the years?
Yeah, Dave, you've got to. We try to knock everything out back home where it's kind of calm, and once you get down to the site where we're at now, Arizona in this case, things are a little chaotic. You have the media, and you have a couple other obligations that you've got to deal with, and so your time is a bit limited on all the football you want to do. So what we did was that's what we did. We took care of business back home, and then we came out here, and we've tried to stay busy with the football part as much as we can, but still give the guys the time to go do these other things.
Coach, you have a very talented squad. But talk to me about not having the Terrell Owens, not having the Tyreek Hill, as you mentioned earlier. What's been the most exciting part of this season, not having that superstar wide receiver out on the field, but still having as prolific an offense?
Yeah, well, it's all these guys coming together to be stars. And so it's maybe one big star, and that's been fun to watch. There's not that one guy that jumps out other than Travis and Pat. The rest of the guys are like worker bees, man. They get in there and they make these big plays, and that they haven't had a chance necessarily to make with other teams, or they're coming off injuries with other teams and step in and are able to, being healthy, are able to make these plays. And so it always seems like somebody steps up at a crucial time to make a crucial play. And I've appreciated that. And it's great to have this offensive line that we have. They've been able to kind of hang together throughout the year and stay, for the most part, injury-free. And they've gelled and do a nice job there. I don't want to neglect that group by not mentioning them.
Coach, everybody seems to know you just from your resume and the things you have accomplished. But I want to talk about how competitive you are that people don't know, the players know. And we keep hearing about the Philadelphia Eagles defensive line. They get to the sacking the quarterback, their third in history, at the most sacks. So talk about how fired up you are to get out there and do your thing on offense.
Yeah, well, listen, they play 5 of them, and they've got another 5 behind them. So they've got a good bunch, and heck, we respect them. That doesn't mean we're going to play any less aggressive. I mean, we're going to go out there and do our best to compete against them. And so that's our attitude. And you can only do is what you can do. And I don't ask the guys to do anything more than that. Just be yourselves and go play and let your personality show. And so that's where we're at. And prepare. Make sure that you've got all the scheme and game plan, all that stuff down, and then trust your fundamentals and let's go.
Coach, the final question. This is another hard hitter. LeSean McCoy, he wanted to ask it, so we saved the toughest question for last. Shady?
You coach both of these players. Which Kelsey brother do you like the most?
Oh, man. That is a tough one. Their mom has it right, man. Give them both some cookies and wear half a jersey with each one of their numbers on it. On Sunday, though, I'm going to like number 87.
That's right. Hey, heck of an answer. Coach, thank you so much for the time. You did not have to do it, but you did, and it speaks to the man you are. We appreciate you, and best of luck in the Super Bowl.
All right.
I owe you a cheeseburger.
Love it. All right. Love you. Love you there, 2-5. Doggone it. Enjoy hanging there.
Thank you, Coach.
It all kicks off Super Bowl Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern on Fox.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.